Kia ora koutou. Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well. It is gorgeous here. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's going to get to 20 degrees Celsius today, and I'm like, oh god, it's spring, spring has sprung, and I'm all aflutter with excitement. So anyway, I'm at a little bit of a loose end this morning. It is around 10 o'clock, I think, in the morning, and I've done everything. All my housework is done. I don't need to do anything. Hubby's off visiting his son and granddaughters. I opted to stay at home because given that it is early spring, my sinuses have decided that now is the perfect time to play up. I don't know about anyone else. I don't get hay fever, I don't get sinus infections, but I get like blocked sinuses and a sore face and horrendous headaches, and they last for months. Sometimes I'll get it in the winter, like if it's a really damp winter, and then otherwise I'll get it through spring and summer. It's horrible. So I literally live on nasal spray, Panadol, and I've started irrigating my nose, like flushing my nasal passages out, which is an interesting sensation, but does help. Does anyone else get that? So no hay fever, no sinus infection, but just sinus problems. I've been plagued with it since I was a teenager, and it's awful. Anyway, so I wasn't quite up to the rigours of the granddaughters. Technically my step granddaughters. I'd be pretty horrified if I had 3 granddaughters at the age of 44. But they are rather like mini hurricanes, so I was like, no, I'm going to stay at home. And I have a hair appointment in a couple of hours, and I really should do a hair update. I might do that after this video, we'll see. Anywho, so I came out to enjoy this lovely morning in the sun with a cup of coffee, and I thought, why not do a little bit of a garden walkthrough? There's not a hell of a lot to see, but I like these for myself, like a sort of a visual diary. I can look back and see what I grew and how they grew and where they grew and all that kind of thing. So it's kind of helpful for me as well. So I'm just going to like quickly take you around. We won't make this video too long. But that's my worm farm, if anyone's wondering. So all that in there is worm wee that you can use to fertilise plants in your garden, and all your scraps go in here. And they're brilliant. It's a great way to use up scraps, and if you have like a small area, you can, you know, good, like compost. So brilliant. Anyway, so this is just up the back. This is our back fence. I have a lovely big Angelica here, which I need to do a little bit of harvesting from because I don't have any Angelica leaf. It's another compost bin, and this is a little bit of a mess around here. I do need to tidy this up, but it's still a little bit damp. So look at these. These are hellebores. Isn't that gorgeous? I love them. I'm thinking of moving them though, because they don't do particularly well in here. I have another one over there, but yeah, I don't know, they need to be somewhere else. So this is one of our little seating areas. I'm going to nab that coffee while I'm here. I'm on my phone because, surprise surprise, my good camera was flat. I don't know how that happens, but anyway, it was flat, so I can't adjust the exposure or anything on this, so it might get a bit glary. So anyway, I don't have a hell of a lot going on, just pansies. I grow pansies every winter. I especially love these ones. These ones are called Flamboyant, and aren't they gorgeous? Like, look at that. They're lovely. Up here, I'm going to move this blueberry bush. Not at the moment, it'll have to wait now until next winter probably. But we're going to grow a wisteria up here. We had a wisteria in our last house. I wish I was doing YouTube when we owned our last house, because it was an old cottage, and it was so witchy, and it was gorgeous. We had a big wisteria around the front door, but anyway, so that's what's going to go there. I've got some more sweet peas to grow. I'm not growing them there though. Those ones are doing pretty well. I planted them recently. I did a video planting those, and hubby has put in a grapevine, which what will be a grapevine. He's going to grow up along the fence, the new fence. I don't know, I'm very excited about having a, come on phone, cooperate, about having a new fence. That section down there is going to be done, I don't know, in a few months. But it's so nice not to have a rotten saggy fence. And we've actually painted the house. Well, no, technically I haven't. Hubby has painted the house. You probably can't tell, but it's like a nice earthy, sort of a, I don't know, fawny grey colour and darker windowsills. It used to be like a horrible yellowed mustard with like rusty brown. It was foul. So hubby did that. He's retired now. And he's got a lot of time on his hands. So this is the main veg garden. It's all been dug over and fertilised. We don't have much going on here, just a few veggies. If I swing you around this way, that's sort of the overview. So in that furthest bed, there's garlic, there's some red onions going on in there, and then this middle one is almost strawberries. I need to put some pea straw around them, and then in here there's some more onions and shallots and one lonely cabbage. But in a few months this will all be full up with veggies, and we always grow raspberries down here. So these are just starting to, you won't be able to see, but they're just starting to get their little buds, and I make masses of jam every year with my raspberries. So this used to be a sort of a raised bed, and it had like rotten garden edging all around, so it was a mammoth job, but we took all the garden edging out and then lowered it all down. So this is sort of like my cottage border, I suppose. I grow lots of poppies, and there's delphiniums. This is a native New Zealand. This is a manuka or manuka that the bees love, so that's going great guns. This is New Zealand's version of a heather. This is called an erica. Isn't it gorgeous? And then I've got roses and lavender and things, but I plant a lot of annuals in here. There's dahlias as well, and columbine and whatnot. And then I do have a little bit of weeding to do around here, but there's a few little bits and pieces. I've got some rue that hasn't quite taken off just yet, and I cannot remember what on earth this little, there's some lambsia there, but this is either I think that's vervain down there. I'll have to check my notes. And there's roses and poppies and all sort of sorts around here. This is one of my favourite roses. I planted this for my dog, who I lost last June. Not June, just gone, June before, June 2019. Planted this in remembrance of my little Brago. This is called I'll Remember, and it's a lovely sort of reddy orange apricot-y rose. It's lovely. And then you come around here, and these are anemones. These are bulbs. Aren't they gorgeous? You probably can't, like the camera won't pick it up, but I've got two different types in here, and I can't remember what either of them are called. One's a lighter purple, one's a darker purple, but aren't they gorgeous? And this is a little bit different. So over here is where I used to grow my mugwort, which is beside my big rosemary bush. And I wanted to not get rid of it, but I don't use mugwort like a massive amount, and it spreads everywhere. So I was like, I kind of want to grow something else over here. So I divided it up, and I've got one over here. So there up the back is the mugwort, and I've got another one further up the garden. So I'll have to keep them quite maintained, but in its place we've put a lovely blue hydrangea. And I may end up moving some of my hellebores down here, I don't know, but this is a lilac. I don't know if you can see, it's all starting to bud up, and we have another lilac here. We've moved. We have one at the back as well. in a little fairy garden. But these lilacs I got for free years and years and years ago from one of my clients at work. They send out suckers and you always get free trees because they're bloody expensive to buy. Actually, lilacs are about $40 to buy from the garden shop, so if you can get them for free, that's awesome. My winter sweet this year was absolutely beautiful. It's one of the flowers. The smell is intense. It's amazing. If you can get a winter sweet, they like cold temperatures though. It's pretty good for where I live. They flower on the bare branches in winter, and they're amazing. They're a really old-fashioned shrub, a sort of a large shrub really. They're gorgeous. So it's called winter sweet if anyone's interested. There is my wormwood. I've got some herbs along here, culinary herbs that I use for cooking, and then I've got another couple of pots of these anemones, parsley, a lovely little display of cyclamen. These used to be inside, but they do really well out here. Probably can't see because of the glare, but the colours are really intense. Some sprouting, oh dear, this is why I wanted my other camera. Some sprouting broccoli in my old bath. This bath, there is a story with this bath. This bath came from our last house. We had an old cottage. It was about 80 years old. Oh, I do miss it because it was lovely. It had a fire and it had wood panelling and stained glass windows, and anyway, it needed a lot of work. We sold it, made a huge profit, and brought this place because where we are now is in a much better area, and we kind of like living semi-rural. But anyway, so when we bought the house, it had this bath in it, and it used to be blue, and then we updated the bathroom and we kept the bath and we brought it here. So it's an authentic cast iron clawfoot bath. People are always horrified when I say that I grow plants in it because they're very expensive to buy, especially if the old ones are in really good nick. Like this is a really old-fashioned one, but I don't care. I love it. And just a few little bits and pieces over here. Isn't this lovely? This is a pink primrose. So yeah, anyway, I will take you round the front. What do you reckon? I made this about 2 months ago at Bessem, and this is actually Broom. That's like what it's called. I thought it would make good bristles, and it did. And this is a piece of driftwood that I have literally had for years and keep meaning to do something with and never have, so that sits there. I'm quite proud of that actually. I think it looks quite cool. Anyway, this is the front garden. We've changed things a little bit around here as well. We used to have agapanthus where this rose was, and I absolutely cannot stand them. I hate them with a vengeance. So hubby dug them out and it took him weeks, and now it's a nice little area for roses, which are one of my favourites. And check out my Daphne. I don't know if you grow this in other parts of the world, but Daphne is a New Zealand kind of staple in the garden. If you live in colder areas, like where I am in the South Island, they do really well down here. The smell's intense. It's absolutely amazing. I can't even describe it. It's so beautiful. And it just does so well here. I love it. Absolutely love it. So this is sort of around the front, and hubby had to cut a lot of things back when he painted. So that's growing. That's a native, and I can't remember what the hell it's called now, but this is a hydrangea, and he grew this one from a cutting, so that's doing really well. And we've got some ferns over here. This needs a little bit of weeding, but it's not too bad. I've got some chamomile down there and some lavender, and I need to fill up my bath. And this is new. I'll swing you around. This is a Magnolia. And sorry, one of my neighbours turned up, and here I am talking to myself. I'm not very confident filming in public, like I feel like an absolute idiot. Anyway, this is a Magnolia. We brought this, I think, a couple of years ago. Was it last year? I can't remember. It's called Vulcan, and it gets massive, and the flowers on it apparently get to the size of like near dinner plates. My husband is obsessed with magnolias, and he's wanted one for ages, so we brought one. Magnolia trees, I don't know, again, in other parts of the world, but over here they're bloody expensive. Like, this was about 70 bucks. So I was like, this thing better survive. But it has. It's obviously, he's got it in the right spot. He did a lot of research, and it's got all new buds on it, and it's grown quite a lot as well. But how gorgeous is that? And when it's fully grown, it'll fill up this area lovely, and it will just look stunning. So that's it, really. Every year I grow marigolds all up down here. I can't see, the sun's in my eyes. I think there's a little dahlia down there that he's put, but we grow marigolds all along here in front of the fence, and then all between the roses as well. And the roses are all starting to come out in bud. This one always flowers first. So that's it, really. I was so excited. This video is really long. I'm sorry about that. But oh well. You can either watch it or not watch it. It's your choice. Alright, I'm going to actually give you a bit of a quick hair update. I'll take you inside, I think. So this is my hair currently. Now I'm going off to the hairdressers today to get it mostly just thinned out. I don't really want a hell of a lot taken off the length. I just get the ends lightly trimmed because I am trying to grow it longer. I had it cut really short, I think January of this year, just to take a lot of the colour out, and I hated it. I haven't had hair that short for years, and I don't like it like really short. It normally sits sort of around this kind of top of boob level, because I do like to curl it in as well, so I can't really do that at the moment. But anyway, yeah, I decided 2nd of January this year to grow it out, but I think my last hair dye was sort of around mid-December. It was a little bit before Christmas. I think maybe a week or so, or a couple of weeks before Christmas of last year. And I was having to do my roots literally every 2 to 3 weeks, and I can't afford to go to the salon every 2 to 3 weeks to get my roots done. So I would just do it myself. And for a while I used that spray. I think it's a L'Oreal brand, and they do like this colour spray, but I hated the texture of it. It made my hair feel like cardboard, and I absolutely hated it. So I stopped doing that, and I was just dyeing it. Like, it just seemed like I would dye it, I would wash it a couple of times, and then I'd have regrowth. And I got to the point where I was like, what am I doing to myself? Like, there's so much chemicals, like really bad chemicals, and especially in home like box dyes, and my scalp was starting to itch and sting a little bit, and I was like, oh, I'm probably building up like some sort of sensitivity to it. And I got a little bit concerned about all the chemicals and all the ammonia and stuff, and I just got fed up with it. I just like, what am I actually, like, who am I trying to prove that I don't know, am I trying to make out I'm younger than what I am? I don't know. So I was like, I'm done, and my husband didn't believe me at first, and he was like, yeah, whatever. But no, I think he's pretty resigned to the fact. Well, he actually loves it. I shouldn't say resigned, but he's like, oh, you know, she actually means it this time, because I've said that a few times in the past. I'm thinking about growing my hair out, and then hadn't actually followed through with it. So he didn't believe me at first, but he loves it, and he has hated my black hair for, well, I shouldn't say hate, that's probably a bit strong, but he's wanted me to go like completely natural for years, because he reckoned that I would suit it, and I think I do suit it. I think it lifts my face and it brightens it, and it matches my skin tone, whereas my black hair really washed me out, and I found that I was just looking a little bit too hard. I had a lot of facial piercings. I've taken all of them out, bar my two. I've got both sides of my nose pierced and my tongue is still pierced. It feels weird not having my tongue piercing in, so I just left it in there because you can't really tell that it's there. But I took all the other ones out, and I don't know, I'm 44 now, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm a little bit too old to be looking how I would, you know. It was just starting to make me look a bit hard. So yeah, I love it, and I will never ever go back to dyeing my hair ever again. You probably can't tell, but there's a lot more, like when you look at it sort of, I might have to get a bit close to see my wrinkles too. Actually, I don't think you can see because the lighting, I'm by the window, but maybe this way. It's a lot more growing out underneath than on top. Like the top's going to take the longest to grow out, but my hairdresser, she sort of thins all this out, because it does, I have noticed I have a lot more hair since I've stopped dyeing it, and the difference in texture between this and my like dyed black hair is amazing. Like this is quite coarse and quite dry, whereas this up here is so soft and silky, and it's lovely. Like I can feel it now just running my fingers through it. It's insane. Yeah, so I'm thinking, I don't know, probably maybe another 6 months, and then we'll all be done, and then I can just sort of concentrate on growing it out. But honestly, if you have ever contemplated going completely natural, then go for it. It's amazing the amount of women who have decided that they don't want to dye their hair anymore, and I think lockdown sort of forced a few women's like hand, because they obviously couldn't get to the salon. But on Facebook, I'm not actually on Facebook anymore, that's a whole other video, but I'm not on Facebook now. But when I joined a couple of going grey groups, and it's a really intense journey that women take when they decide to go completely natural. I never have had any regrets, and I will never ever dye my hair again. Like I absolutely love my natural colour, but a lot of women really struggle. And it's quite sad really, because I think there's this sort of society kind of expectation that you shouldn't be seen to age. And I was in that mindset for a long time, and I don't know. It got to the point where I was like, I just didn't give a shit anymore. Like, this is me. I'm 44. I'm fat. I'm quite fat. I have wrinkles. My skin's not great. I have grey hair, and this is me. And either like it or lump it, I don't give a shit. So yeah. Anyway, that was a bit of a rant, but it made me quite sad, because some women would post that they really wanted to grow their hair out, and then their husbands would be like, oh, I don't like that, and no, you need to dye your hair, you look too old, and it would really knock their self-confidence. And I just thought, oh, I'm lucky with my husband. He's a lot older than me. There's a 24-year age gap between us, but he's always been the type of man who doesn't focus on things like that. Like, he hates that kind of thing, and he focuses on, you know, personality and that sort of stuff. It's not looks for him. And I don't know, I hit gold when I met him. I really did. So anyway, if you've ever thought about growing out your hair, then just go for it, and screw what anyone else says. As long as you're happy, you have to be ready to do it, and you have to be in the right sort of frame of mind. Well, not in the right frame of mind, but you have to be, you've got to do it for you. Don't do it for anyone else. And yeah, so that's where we're at with the whole hair thing. And yes, I can't wait until it's like all completely done. I can't wait. Like when I hold my hair back like this is all new growth. I love the natural streaks and highlights in it. Like there's some, like up here, there's some really gorgeous white streaks. I never had that with my dyed black hair. There was just nothing. It was like I dunked my head in a big bucket of tar. So anyway, this video is way longer than what I initially thought it was going to be, and I'm really uncomfortable kneeling on the floor because I'm fat and old. So I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.